We have already seen how we can externalize configuration in the Spring, and now let's see that the how for the different environments we are setting up a configuration and how we are using different beans for the different environments. So for example, let's say that in this case we have for notification service, right? So for notification service, we have two implementations. We have the implementation of the email notification, and we have the email of the SMS notification. And we want for the dev environment, SMS notification implementation to be used. And for the prod environment, what we want to email notification to be used. So for that, we are setting the profile, where in the profile we are setting the prod for the production, and for the dev we are setting the dev. That's the first one. Another one is that earlier we have externalized our our properties to the application properties files. We can do properties or we can do YAML file. And also here, right, what we do here is we have also created the two files. One is let's say we have two environments, right? Dev and the production. So one is the dev specific and another one is the prod specific. So what we do is in our app config file, we can actually, for the property sources, we can have as many resources as we want. So here we are adding two. One is that the main one, right? Application properties that will be used by both of the environments, and also we are adding here the environment specific, right? So we are taking that the application and the dash, whatever the Spring Profile Active gives us, right? So whatever Spring Profile Active gives us, if we don't have anything, then by default we are setting that to dev. By default, the dev environment will be used. So that's it, and let's go now over to Spring App, right? So how we can set the Spring Profile Active, how we can set this value. One is that we are setting that in the system property, we are setting that value to prod. Another one is that we are in the environmental variables, we can set that value to the Spring Profiles Active, we can set that to prod. Both of these options are both of these options can be used. So we are using, in our case, we are just setting in this at the system level, we are setting the property to prod. Now let's run it and see that indeed it works the way we expect it to work. First, let's test for the prod, and for the prod, so the email should be sent here, right? And the configs for the email should be shown. So here we are taking the values either from our application properties, or we are taking from the here, right? And we are taking from the app prod properties, right? For the that environment specific properties. And let's run it and see. As you can see here, so what we have here, right? We have here that, let me scroll it up. So okay, let me scroll it up. So what we have here is that we are registering a user, and in our case, sending an email, because we have the implementation for the prod, right? Email is sent. And also for the application configuration, as you can see here, Spring Core tutorial production is printed. So if we have two values, let's say that the app name here, but we don't have it, right? But that value will be overwritten in our environment specific file. So in our case, we are printing the app name, version, and so on. Now let's change this value to dev and see that the dev values are printed, right? So if we are going to print that, as you can see here, that we are sending SMS, because in this case we are using the dev environment and this implementation is used. And also for the configuration, we are taking the configuration for the dev environment.